Welcome to EpicTV Weekly. You're not going to believe what we got for you this week. Mountain biking in autumn? Are you kidding me? It's time to hit the streets, and the sidewalks, and the stairs. Taj Burrow came out of nowhere recently to win the O'Neill Coldwater Classic, and EpicTV Surf Editor Dave Mailman came out of nowhere to score us an interview. The Vendee Globe is underway, and skipper Francois Gabart is in the lead. With 3 months left to go in the race, you reckon it's too early for us to call a winner? And there's a storm brewing in the outerwear business, and man, it looks like we're all gonna get really wet. Hey, we all know mountain biking down a steep, technical single track can be dangerous. But riding through a Mexican ghetto like they do in the Taxco downhill? Totally suicidal.
6 million ways to die. Choose one.
The latest version of the completely insane downhill course through a third world ghetto race comes to us from Taxco, Mexico. In this vid, Mauricio Taka Acuña follows Brendan Fairclough down a ridiculously perilous course for a race he ended up winning. To see the full video, go to daily.epictv.com and search for Taxco. The Vendee Globe is less than 2 weeks old, and there's already been 2 crashes, and at least 2 skippers have pulled the plug. That's a lot of 2s. At this time, Francois Gabart has a narrow lead, so we're going to run this interview now, because in this race you never know what's going to happen.
We have a very strong relationship with this race for sure, and when we go on the Vendee Globe, you have to think Vendee Globe for a lot of years, and I'm attracted by this race for maybe 20-25 years, I don't know. When I was just a young kid, I was thinking and dreaming about the Vendee. But when you're a kid, you know, you have a lot of dreams, and when you just get older, there's dreams that you manage to go closer, and there's dreams you just forget. On the Vendee Globe, you have all the stronger things you can have on the offshore sailing, like being alone on a boat, like sailing for 3 months, going to the Southern Ocean. I think for me, I never sail on this type of oceans, and I really would like to do it. I have a lot of people who just told me about this, about big waves, about big storm, and all of this, but I just want to live it, you know. I want to feel it, to know what's it for real. The only training you have is to just listen to your body and to understand when you're tired or not. If you're too much tired, you could do big mistakes. It's only 3 months. It's big 3 months. It's very big. But at the same time, in a life, well, what's it? Only 3 months, nothing. So you just, you know, people that just stay on shore know that I really love this type of race. I love this type of race, so I'm doing it. And for doing something like this, you have to lose things, and it's not be with your friends or your family for 3 months.
At the O'Neill Coldwater Classic, Taj Burrow proved he's still one of the world's best surfers. EpicTV caught up with him to find out where he goes from here.
I could not live away from the ocean. Surfing is my favourite thing in the world, but more essentially, I think just getting in the ocean is like, you can't live without it. Doing trips with your mates is probably the sickest thing ever. I've done a Mentawais trip with a bunch of mates. It was so much fun. Kind of on a rickety old Indonesian boat, but just had the time of our life. Just sick waves and just good times with your mates. It's really hard to beat. To be honest, one of the biggest highlights I've had as a pro surfer is when we filmed with a helicopter years ago at one of my favourite home breaks. No one had really filmed small wave kind of high performance stuff with a helicopter before, and I was so excited to do it. And this one day everything came together, and I had a good session too, and I was just nailing airs, and the chopper was so close to my head, and I just felt like this. I got goosebumps every time I landed something. I was just like, it felt so good.
Ugly gal do it better in a bed. Ugly gal do it better in a bed. Ugly gal do it better in a bed. Better in a bed. Fit you.
It felt like I was surfing in front of a stadium of people, and I got more and more confident, and I was nailing good airs, and it's a pretty good feeling because, you know, I've always been a huge fan of collecting, you know, good video clips, and that day just came together like you wouldn't believe, and that was like seriously one of the highlights of my career.
I tell she gal tonight I feel to fling. Back at the club we start to do the thing. How the gal make me feel like that.
So we all know that the manufacture of outerwear ain't exactly the best thing for Mother Nature. And recently, Greenpeace has come out with a report that tells us it's probably worse than we thought. So with us in the studio today is our environmental editor, Cira Riedel. Cira, welcome to the show.
Hi Dre, thanks.
Thanks for stopping by while you're in the neighborhood.
Yeah, with pleasure.
So what can you tell us about this report from Greenpeace?
Well, I mean, we all love our outdoor clothing to be very high performant. And the more high performant it is, the more we love it and the more we pay for it. The problem is that it is toxic. So Greenpeace, as you said, came up with the studies about a week ago, where they tested 14 different pieces of outdoor clothing, and they found especially the PFCs. It's a group that's of chemicals which is called PFCs. They found especially those hazardous. And the reason being is that they are bioaccumulative, which means those things stay around. So once put out there, they never disintegrate.
Okay.
So if you wash your jacket, for example, it goes into the water stream goes into the plants, it goes eventually into our body by drinking it. Sewage systems don't know how to deal with it, nature doesn't know how to deal with it. So the more we put out there, the more they stay. I think it's up to everybody to sort of adjust their needs versus the status symbol of a really high performance jacket. I suppose it's really what it comes down to. So they've also found NPEs and softeners, and which is really frightening. They found it especially in children's products, and those chemicals, they work directly on the body in a hormonal way. So
Okay.
this can really be a threat.
So
you know,
in
directly
addition to being passed into the
user.
environment, they're also absorbed by the skin and
Right.
absorbed by the body.
Right, and
Okay.
especially for children, if you find those sort of things in children's jackets, it's really worth having a look and sort of doing your homework. I mean, you pay so much money for a jacket, it's probably there where you should really sort of read up about it a little bit and find out a little bit more before you do the purchase.
Cira, thanks so much for joining us and lending us your expertise.
You're welcome.
Hope to see you again soon.
I hope so too.
Before we go, I want to tell you that it's App-O-Rama here at EpicTV with the launch of our new Android app, which allows you to watch more than 600 premium adventure films like Taj Burrow in Year Zero. All right, until next week, charge hard and take chances.
Officials now warning
Everything was destroyed. Worst case scenario.
dying birds.
Gone from bad to worse.
Catastrophe and destruction.